Okay, good morning. Happy Monday. I am super excited today because I had a great week last week. I talked to a lot of you from Las Vegas, and Robert and I went and we actually attended a mastermind seminar. How how amazing is that? So we spent a couple of days. We ran into some people that we haven't seen in a few years that were in the mortgage industry. And one of the really fun things about that was that everybody was complimenting me on my skin and Robert on how young he looks, that he hasn't changed. And nobody knew why. They were sort of looking at us like, you guys look really good. What's going on? And so it was a really fun week to kind of see some old friends and really get some great new information that we could bring back to our mastermind. And so you got a little bit of that last week, and Robert's going to share some information with you in just a few minutes. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to start, of course, with our gratitude and tell you that I had the really great pleasure of being at the Southern California Regional on Saturday. And you know, if you don't attend a regional or you haven't attended a regional in a while, or your people that are focused in on doing this business haven't attended a regional, really try to help them get there, because I'll tell you, the community and camaraderie of just the energy in the room is so incredibly important. And we learned a lot last week about energy when we saw Jack Canfield. You know, Jack Canfield does certain exercises with the audience about energy, just about good energy and bad energy, and how that really affects your day and affects your week and affects your head and all of that stuff. And, you know, going to the regional is just great energy. It's a lot of people that are like-minded, that are there to have a good time, to learn something about business, and you see a lot of friendly faces. So I really encourage everybody to, you know, make sure to get that on your calendar. And for all the new people that you have, you know, really accentuate the fact that this is something that is really key for them to see a bigger vision of this company and this business. It was a great regional. I really was grateful that I was able to be there. And basically we talked a lot this last week, and actually on Saturday, about it all being up to you. So in anything that you're doing, in any business that you're in your life, whatever, it's really up to you. And there's really, you know, you can't complaining or, you know, blaming other people or saying, oh, my friends aren't being nice to me, and so it's hard for me to do this, or, you know, I don't get any support from the people around me, so I can't do this, or, you know, I'm so busy, it's impossible for me to do this. You know, the reality is, you guys, is that if you want to grow your business, no matter what business it is, if you want to grow it, it's going to be up to you. And really, there isn't anybody around you or up from you or down from you or side from you that's going to make that happen but you. And so it's a decision that you have to make. And every single day, as we know, if you've read The Slight Edge, you know that there's a decision that you can make, whether you want to do your 2 exposures today or whether you don't want to do your 2 exposures to move your business forward. And the reality is that a lot of us, you know, for whatever our reasons are, whatever our head tells us, you know, we do it or we don't do it. And really and truthfully, one of the things that I know is absolutely true is whatever we do today in our business shows up maybe 30 to 60 days later. So, or maybe longer. And so if you're not doing your exposures over and over and over and over, it may not mean anything today. Oh, I didn't do my 2 exposures today, so it doesn't really mean much. But if you're continuing to have that practice over time, then 30 to 60 to 90 days later, you're going to find yourself with no business and no growth in your business. So that was really something that was a great reminder for me, that I really cannot take one day off not to focus in on something that I can do for myself and my business. So really, it's game time. And I'm so excited to have Robert, you know, up and at 'em to talk about some of the stuff that we went over this past week, because you know, here we are, it's right before the 15th of the month. We all want to not only get our 2 new grant partners to build our team, but we also want to help people that we've brought into this business do the same thing. We want to help people achieve success, and we want to make sure that we are great sponsors and great mentors and great teachers and all of that. And so it's game time. It's time for us to really take our Class A prospects and convert them into new brand partners, and to bring people along with you, doing it together and building your business. And so we're kind of reframing the way that we do things. And Robert's going to talk a lot about this. And I'm pretty excited about him telling you about this, because it just makes so much sense, and it's going to help you. So if you are able to have a pad and paper, if you're able to write some things down that may help you, that you can review, that's great. Otherwise, that I'm recording this and I'll be able to put it on the page later today. So I want to welcome my husband. I'm super happy to see him this morning, having had his coffee, and he's got his notes, and he's ready to rock and roll and give you the information. So good morning, Robert.
Thank you, Annie. And hey, Mastermind. And it's funny, I'm calling you the Mastermind because Annie and I just got back from a mastermind. But first of all, that picture, I look older in that picture than I do now.
It's an older picture, Robert.
I need a newer picture because I'm so much younger.
You really do. What should we do?
So let me give you a little background. Most people know what I do for a living for the last 28 years. I'm a mortgage lender, and I was been very successful in the industry. In fact, actually, in the first 5 years of being in the industry, I actually was thinking of getting out of the industry because I wasn't too successful after 5 years in the industry. And then I went to a seminar, a conference in Hawaii. And at that conference, there was about 80 of the top mortgage lenders in the I won't even say the country. They came from Canada, so I'll say the world there. And they were all $1 million earners. And Annie and I were probably the only non-$1 million earners on that island. But we felt it was important trying to figure out our industry if we were going to stay in the industry. And we brought home everything we needed to become $1 million earners in the industry. And a couple years after that, we were $1 million earners. And, as I go through this presentation with you, I want you to really think, one, all industries are really alike. Two, success really does leave clues. So think about this. So I decided to, I've been looking at this mortgage seminar that's been coming up on my email for like 6 months, Mastermind, and it's run by a friend of mine that we grew up in the mortgage industry together, Stephen Marshall. And, one thing when I see this seminar, and of course he's charging like $500 a person to come to this seminar, and we had to get on a plane and we had to go into a hotel room. So I think, that's just a lot of money, and I know everything. I've been in the mortgage industry 28 years. What am I going to learn from Stephen Marshall, who we grew up together? We went into coaching together in an elite coaching group. It just seems like, why would I spend my money on that? But it started nagging at me as he kept sending me these emails and inviting me personally, which really wasn't personal. It was his company, but it made it sound personal through the email, and which I knew that. So I decided, what the heck, I'm going to go. Why did I go? Number one, success does leave clues. Successful people have coaches. Successful people go to seminars. Successful people keep going back to their trade and learning more to bring it back and implement it. And plus it was in Vegas, and my wife and I were able to get away. But truly it was that I'm following what I tell you guys to do. I'm following what I tell myself to do, is get to these seminars, and I'm going to learn something, and I'm going to refresh myself, and I'm going to be able to get back and really charge it out of the gate. And that's what I did. Now, yes, this mortgage seminar, which was all realtors and mortgage lenders, it cost Annie and I $250 a piece. Plane ride was expensive for both of us, the hotel room, eating. But oh my gosh, every time we go to a seminar, whether it's a Nerium seminar, a mortgage seminar, it's just, it reminds us, it's unbelievable. So I want to go over a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to take you really quickly through what this seminar is about. So the first day, they talked about stay on the prequels to not lose them. Okay, now I'm talking about mortgages. I'm talking about real estate here. Think about this for what we do at Nerium. Stay on the pre-quals to not lose them. Update, the agent regularly. It's updating your customers. Sell to how somebody buys. I'll get into that more in a moment. Millennials will drive the market, understand the demographics. We preach that all the time in Nerium. The millennials are the biggest consumers, the biggest demographics, period, in our society. We must learn how to work with them, market to them, be with them, kumbaya. They're the ones that are going to be driving the economy, and they're the ones that are going to be building our teams in the future. Josh Altman, I think Annie brought it up on Friday. He's like one of the top realtors in Beverly Hills. Does a ton of, just does ridiculous amount of business. And, one of his mottos is ready, fire, aim. I thought it was supposed to be ready, aim, fire. It is, but his is ready, fire, aim. He's in a Starbucks. He throws out all of his real estate stuff. He starts talking to people. Okay, that's how he got some of his biggest clients and made the biggest money in his career. Yes, it's getting out of your comfort zone, but as we learn in this seminar in mortgages, we should all be living out of our comfort zone. I tell that to my kids all the time. If you're going to grow, you're uncomfortable. You're stretching. You're doing things that make you feel uncomfortable. By the way, if you didn't do them, nobody would care. If you did do them and someone turned you down, who cares? Nothing would have happened anyway. Really think about that. That's an important thing. So, next speaker comes up. His topic was the 7 best strategies to earn $1 million a year. Real fast. Prospecting. Primary goal is to get an appointment, 15 appointments per week. Gosh, doesn't that sound familiar? 2 hours of phone prospecting a day. Number 2, marketing, handwritten notes, one-on-one emailing. How about this? This was interesting in mortgages, right? Build a list of my dream 100 clients. Number 3, strategy to earn $1 million a year. Get out of the office by 12 noon each day, every day. Guys, we're in the people business, right? How about 50 great conversations per week? How about events? They talked a lot about events for mortgage lending. Success leaves clues. Number 4, he talked about build a team. Number 5, he talked about business systems. Well, Nerium gives us a business system that's second to none. We have it. It's so nice. I never had that as a mortgage lender. I had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to build my business system. We are given that for $39 a month, $29 a month. I don't pay attention to it because we just spend it and it happens, and our whole system is there, which is ridiculously inexpensive. Number 6 of his 7, wow service. Number 7 of his 7, goal setting, business planning. That's exactly what we do here on this mastermind in the mornings. Next person comes up. I'm going to skip the next person because that's what I'm going to train on a little bit today. Next person, Jack Canfield. We all love him, right? 100% responsibility for your life and results. And he went into that. We could blame anybody we want to blame, but until we take 100% responsibility for us, what we do, our success, our failures, look in the mirror, we're going to stay along the same path to where we were. And he said, everything new you do is uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable. You have to give up all blaming. We all have complaining with things that we have the opportunity to change. We only have complaining with things that we have the opportunity to change. These are my notes. Only focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. It's so funny that we complain about the person we brought into Nerium, and they're not doing anything, and I'm spending so much time with them, and they think they don't have any friends, and they don't have a house that's clean enough to do anything. It takes a lot of energy out of us. Go get another new person, okay? The next new person might be the person like Josh Altman, a multi-hundreds of $1 million a year realtor, is the person you find that just is the person that's going to be the one that takes you to your dreams in your business. One thing I realized in our business in Nerium is we don't sell. We share, and I'll get more into that, which I love because I'm selling all day in my mortgage industry, and it's a pleasant time when I'm just sharing a product that I just fell in love with. Michael Mayer is the #1 realtor in the world at one time in in what as a realtor. He says, we've turned to our friends for referrals in mortgages, in real estate, in Nerium. Most powerful is handwritten notes. And he was telling you she's now writing 5 power notes, what she calls a day. She got it from Michael Mayer. He wrote the book, The 7 Levels of Communication. We all should read it in our industry. And by the way, it was for mortgages and realtors, but we all should read it in our industry. It's amazing. His power notes, and he's getting great responses from people that want to try the product from the power notes. An invitation to an event. That's all he talked about was events. An event is just 2 or more people. It's not 30 people. It's not 10 people. It's not when you call 20 people and only 1 or 2 people show up and you think, oh my gosh, it was a flop and I'm so unhappy and I'm no good. That's amazing. 2 people showing up is absolutely amazing. Be happy, be proud. And by the way, set up the next event. Have them bring their friends to the next event. That's what we're about here. Earn more by having more events. One of the realtors, a huge mortgage lender, you know what he said? Start with 150 realtors. That's like us starting with a list of 100. Let's start with a list of 150. Let's work from our list of 150. Create a mastermind group. Isn't that funny? Create a mastermind group, and that's what we do here. So guys, Annie and I spent a lot of money to go to that seminar. I'm revigorated. Annie learned a lot from a mortgage real estate seminar, which she brings to you guys. You know, what does that tell us? If you are not signed up for our national convention, which I think the tickets are $149 each, and if you buy one, you get one half price. I mean, way less. By the way, our Nerium conventions are way better than this seminar. The seminar was not put on as professionally. And I will tell you, the energy wasn't there, which it should have been there, that we get at our seminar. The camaraderie was very important. I met up with a lot of friends I hadn't seen in years. I want to go over one of the most important things that came out. I mean, here's what it is. You go to a convention, you go to a seminar, if you pull out one nugget that could change your career, isn't that good? Yeah, it's great. You pull out a nugget. Well, I pulled out a nugget in this seminar that actually changed my whole thinking in mortgage loans and Nerium. And I will tell you this, I want you to really realize something. Nerium was never meant to be a full-time gig for 99.9% of the people, including the Schwartzes. When we got into Nerium, I fell in love with the product. And I just thought we should have multiple streams of income. And I was a little burnt out on mortgages at that point, I'll tell you, because we just got through the recession. Doing Nerium and going through the self-improvement books that I've read through, and I've never read so many books in my life since I started at Nerium, changed my attitude. It actually changed my attitude in mortgages, and it gave me a refreshing approach in doing mortgage loans that this network marketing industry has brought to us, but it was never meant to be full-time. I don't understand. It's like I wouldn't have had my most successful time in mortgages if I would have quit after 5 years. So I don't understand people that quit. I don't think you ever quit an industry like this. Why? Because, well, number one, you have a great tax write-off if you keep your receipts properly. So that's going to make you thousands of dollars, even if you don't do incredibly successful. With a product line, and we have a product line, and I will tell you, I've never seen, this is why I'm here talking to you really, number one, is I've never seen a product line like ours. So when you have a product line like this, why do you ever give up a product line like that? You know, it makes no sense to me. So, and I'm going to say this a couple times during this, but if you haven't signed up for the convention yet, sign up for the convention immediately. I know your gut's telling you to go. I know your head's telling you don't have enough money. By going, it could possibly change your life the way it changed our life, going to that first convention and every single convention since, by going back to my seminars for mortgage seminars that absolutely changed my perspective, getting me making the money because of the energy I go. So the biggest thing I will tell you is it was by, going to my notes here, it was by a gentleman called Rene Rodriguez. And it's funny, and I didn't put in there, first thing he started talking about is start with your why. Simon Sinek, come on, guys, what we learn at Miriam. And here's the big mortgage guy up on stage said, you got to read this book, Simon Sinek, Start With Your Why. And almost every single speaker at this seminar talked about your why. Get back to your why. Because if you don't have the why, the how doesn't mean anything. People want to know your why. And it's really funny because Annie, when I hear Annie, who's really everywhere we go, I call it the 3-foot rule. And think about Josh Altman, that big realtor. What did he say? Ready, fire, aim. He was using the 3-foot rule. Anyone around 3 feet from him, he was talking to people. It's exactly what we do. So you go to that 3-foot rule, and you know what Annie would tell people? Oh my gosh, I help people look in and feel younger. Now that's great, that's nice, and that's what we were doing, and we thought we were being that was a really cool thing to say to start off with. And here's a gentleman that goes up and says, basically you start off with something like that, you give no context, you give no frame of reference to really what you're doing. So I'd watch Annie as she would do this in the 3-foot rule, and some people would say, she'd get a reaction from. Some people didn't really. It was cool, but it didn't tie together what we really do. So real quick, I'm going to put Annie on because she has changed her opening comments on what you do. So when you walk into a stranger, let's say at the airport, and you go, and they go, oh my gosh, what do you do?
Well, it was really interesting when Robert and I were discussing the reframing of how we want to, tell people about our business and what we do for a living. And so I sat down at the airport, and it was no coincidence. There was a lady sitting down next to me at first. She was waiting for her flight. All of our flights were delayed. And finally her flight went off, and this next lady sat down. And the minute she sat down, I said, oh, are you on the LA flight? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh my gosh, I think we have another 45 minutes to wait. And she said, oh yeah. I said, oh, well, what are you doing in Vegas? Are you here for fun or business? And she said, well, actually, I'm here for a Mike Ferry seminar. I'm a brand new realtor. And I said, oh my gosh, that's amazing. How exciting. I love Mike Ferry. And I said, we were here for a mastermind. And she goes, oh, great. That's great. She goes, well, what do you do? And I said, well, actually, I said, I've been a talent agent for my whole career. I just retired that, but over the last 5 years, a lot of things have changed in my life. And, I lost my mom to heart disease, and I lost my dad to Alzheimer's. And so now, I represent products that actually help people not to have that problem, that take care of their body and their mind. And I'm pretty excited about it. And she goes, wow, that sounds amazing. She goes, do you guys have skincare? And I go, yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. And she goes, wow, what? And I go, well, let me show you some pictures. So I showed her a bunch of pictures, and it ended up that she sat on the plane with us all the way home to LA. We exchanged information. I sent her a video already. We're going to talk probably, I think, tomorrow. But my story wasn't, I make people look and feel better. My story was much more personal about why I represent the products that I do. And so the short version of that was basically telling a story. And
so you don't answer the question in the now. You frame the answer with a story. And that's a very important part. And if you get one thing off of what we're talking about today, this is it. This is the nugget. This is the $1 million information. And this is why we paid probably a couple $1,000s to go to this seminar for 2.5 days. And this is literally what I came out of it, that I am so happy we went. I couldn't imagine, I found it. So for example, why am I in Miriam? Well, I was 50 years old, and I looked in the mirror, and I didn't like what I saw. My skin was discolored. It was hair was looking coarse. My wrinkles were so deep, it was like embarrassing, and I stayed away from mirrors. And I literally noticed that when I turned 50. And, I was at a family dinner, and my sister threw this product at me, and I tried it. And my gut was telling me, don't try it, but I tried it. And in 5 days, my skin started improving. And I fell in love with this product. And when I fell in love with the product, I looked at the business model. I said, oh my gosh, it was an incredible business model. And what if this helps my friends the same way it helps me? And that's why we're talking to you about Miriam right now, because it's helped my friends. I love my skin now. In fact, my wife jokes that I can't pass a mirror without looking in a mirror. So would you like to try the product? Now, I thought I should be doing this in my mortgage business. Of course I should. What do I do for a living? I got in the mortgage business 28 years. I go, you know what? Well, it's a funny story now that you asked me how I got into mortgages. I got into the mortgage business 28 years ago, and I need to make money. I had 2 kids, and I knew we wanted another child. I actually had 1 child at the time. We were having children, and I needed to make money. And I got into this mortgage business because I knew there was a lot of money there. But then I found out once I got in the mortgage business that not only is there a lot of money, but people were taken advantage of. And that never sat well with me. I'm just a fair guy, and I saw how they were being taken advantage. I said, "Gosh, if I really treated people right, then I have a career here, and I can make a lot of money, and I can build a company without taking advantage of people, and I can have clients for life," which I always wanted, was clients for life. And so I got into the mortgage business, and it's been amazing because people really appreciate being taken care of. And I love numbers anyway, and I love finances, and I love helping people with their finances. So it fit with my personality. And that's why 28 years later, I still love the mortgage business. Thanks for asking. So think about how we're framing what we do on a daily basis. Tie down your frame, what this means to you. Don't start with the question. Don't throw it in the now. Work on a 15 or 30-second answer that is framing why you're doing it, why it's important to you, why it's important for other people. When you get that story down, you're going to find that it's going to be very simple to engage in conversation with people anywhere. And they will be very engaging back with you. Now, watch how they respond. They might not care. That's okay. The next thing I would say is, what do you do? And start engaging in what they do, their hobbies, their family. Okay. And that should bring them to ask a question back to you on your products. If they don't, that's okay. They're just the wrong person. You could always end up just saying, "Hey, you know what? I love my product so much. I'd love to share a video with you. If I sent you a video, would you watch it?" Okay, but that opens the conversation. So guys, I just tell you this: if you're not signed up to get to the conference, get to the conference. If you're having some challenges, give us a call. Give your upline a call. Understand that it changes lives. I mean, I can just tell you it has changed my, not only the Nerium conferences has helped Annie and I be successful in this business and at Nerium, but all the conferences and seminars I've gone to in mortgage lending saved my business career. I wouldn't be in mortgages if I didn't go to them. I don't know what I'd be doing. It'd be kind of odd. So right now we have some great tools that Nerium gives us this month. Sign up 2 personal BPs, you get a watch. It's not the watch. It's not the I don't look at it as the thing. I look at it as it's a challenge. It gives me a reason to get up. It gives me a reason to go after something. It makes it fun. Gosh, I wish the mortgage industry was more fun. I really do. I mean, it's fun when I help the clients achieve their goals, fix a problem that no other lender can do. That is fun. But Nerium has been a blessing and a lot of fun. Why has it been fun? There's no pressure in this. There's no, you do everything in your time frame. It's something we're never going to stop doing just because there's no reason to never stop doing it. So have fun with this. Get your 2 personal BPs this month. Throw events. If there's, again, the one other nugget from what I learned, not what I learned, what we do, but what keeps being brought up in the mortgage industry and in relationship marketing, it's events. Drag people to events. They end up saying thank you. And if they don't say thank you, so what? They had a drink with you, or, it was a couple hours, no big deal. You're not hurting their feelings. They're never going to not talk to you again if you're not weird about this. So we have events coming up, and Annie and I are actually speaking at the Valencia Market Party on June 22nd. And There was something, what was before Annie? There was a market party, in Ventura. So these are the ones near us that we're going to be attending, that we're going to be there, that we're going to drag as many people there as possible, because we know that that's how our business works. So success leaves clues. That's how our business works. Just do it. Get your head out of the way. The more you're in your head, the more you're not going to want to do anything. Stretch yourself a little bit. Have fun, guys. We're in it to win it. Talk to you guys soon. Hope you got something out of it.
All right. Thank you guys so much for showing up today. I know we went a little bit longer, but I think the content was amazing. And I appreciate you, Robert, bringing that today. And we'll be here tomorrow. So it's the time now, guys. It's game time. We got to make stuff happen. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you both.
I took a ton of
Annie, Robert.
notes.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Robert and Annie.